Welcome to 5 Minutes on Networking. How many of us are buried in a mountain of business cards that we've collected from meetings and conferences over the years? Well, you're not alone. Knowing how to network effectively is much more than simply collecting cards. It takes hard work, and we're all time-strapped these days. But here's a secret. Like most other fine things in life, when it comes to networking, it's the quality that matters, not the quantity. Social media has fueled this hype that you need thousands of followers on Twitter, Facebook, or LinkedIn to get ahead. But knowing people in a superficial way isn't going to help you. Studies show that most successful people can identify 20 to 30 key relationships that have truly made a difference to their careers. Remarkably, they recognise their key relationships right at the beginning. Kind of like a love at first sight thunderbolt magic. And this is what you want when you network. A meaningful connection with someone where both parties benefit from the relationship. When you get started in networking, you have to start with what you want. What are your career goals? What do your 5 and 10 year plans look like? If you're unsure where you want to take your career, then there's no point in making a focused networking strategy. If you know, for instance, that you want to get into management, or there's a certain subject area that really interests you, then do your research on the current managers in your field and look to approach them when you see them at conferences or workshops. Of course, approaching networking with an open mind might lead you to different career paths that you never considered before, but it's always best to do your homework before connecting. Let's take a look at the VIPs in your life who have helped you make valuable connections to date. These could be co-workers, a mentor, friends, or even your boss. These people are the most important professional contacts in your life, and you can't take them for granted. Once you've identified the people in your life who fit into this category, be sure to keep regular contact with them. Catch up for a coffee every few months with your VIPs. Stay connected in person as well through social media, and try to be as helpful to them as they are to you. Your next tier of networking contacts will be made up of colleagues, friends of friends, and people who have the potential to help you in the future. These contacts are not the people you know well enough to socialise with, so you don't need to follow them up with the same intensity as you use with your VIPs. But these are the ones you can send your newsletter to, or links to your latest blog posts or articles. As with the VIPs, finding a common ground to start the conversation is a good approach. And don't assume that your successful contact needs nothing from you. The best of all relationships are win-win, and basically you reap what you sow. So it's always worth the trouble to find out contact's desires and worries. Chances are you'll be able to find something worthwhile you can offer, whether it's good advice, a connection that you can introduce them to, or even just a friendly ear to listen. If you haven't maintained a good connection with a contact, you can't ask them for something. And don't break the golden rule of networking. Always give before you ask. You've got to offer something, whether it's a connection of your own, knowledge, or something else that you know the other party needs. Just make sure you're investing in your contacts. And of course, this doesn't mean you should be reaching out to people primarily because you expect something in return. Operating with reciprocity in mind indicates that you've got your own self-interest at heart, and it does show through when you try to connect, leaving you with a dwindling networking circle. Bad news travels fast. Cultivate a generous spirit. The best networkers genuinely want to help others. They do it all the time while expecting nothing in return. When the time comes and they need help, they've got a treasure chest of VIPs to choose from. We all know interesting people who are smart, motivated, and ambitious. And while they may not be a big cheese in their field right now, in 10 years' time, you know they're going to be influencers. It's easier to get to know people early on in their career. So think about who in your network is showing the potential to go places, and start forging those relationships now. You can even help them get to where they're going by offering up some connections and support. Every so often you'll make a really strong connection, and when that happens, it will help you with your networking to maintain that connection and create a solid relationship. The people you're connected to are more likely to speak up on your behalf, introduce you to others, and make your networking easier. And that goes both ways. You can speak up for your connections and listen for opportunities for them as well. For introverts, the business of networking is not only intimidating, it is downright terrifying. If you feel that your strengths lie in being a team player behind the scenes, you can still benefit from knowing how to network effectively. And it is possible for introverts. I know from personal experience. One good way to connect easily is to connect with people online before you meet them face to face. This can be really helpful if you're shy. Connecting with other upcoming event attendees on LinkedIn and Twitter or other social media platforms can make it a lot less nerve-wracking when you arrive at an event because you already feel like you know people, and that is so good for your anxiety levels. Familiar faces, even if you've only ever seen them on a screen, can be really comforting. You can also use social media to find new events by connecting with people who belong to the same organisations or industry that you do. And what do you talk about? This is always a big challenge for me, and it isn't easy for a natural introvert. But there are a few things you can do. You can talk about your accomplishments. As you know, introverts seldom celebrate their achievements publicly, but you're going to have to reconcile with the fact that it's not a bad thing to let people know what you've done, what you're doing, and what you plan on doing. Talking about your achievements can help you make the right connections, particularly with people who can help you achieve even more. You should also discuss your goals and ideas. You don't need to tell everyone everything on your mind, but if you're looking to start a conversation, beginning with an idea or opinion that is specific to your industry can really get the conversation flowing. If you're starting to feel comfortable talking about yourself, then that's awesome. But don't forget to ask questions too. Ask the people you're connecting with what their goals are, and take the time to see if you know anyone that could help them. Sharing your connections is a great way to gain strong new connections. And you shouldn't overthink it. When you get home, leave your interactions and networking attempts alone emotionally. There is no need to reflect on what you said and how it was interpreted or how the other person responded. If you think you made some blunders, it's okay, we've all done it. Don't beat yourself up. It's not a big deal, and you'll have plenty more opportunities to meet new people or connect with those people again in the future. Concentrate your energy on the positive things that came out of your networking attempt, and let your mistakes inform your choices next time. Networking is a skill and an art that takes time to perfect, and you will get there eventually. Don't give up. Now, when you're at a networking event, it is important for you to remember who you met. When you receive a card, try and commit it to memory by looking at the card and the person and connecting them to the conversation that you're having. When that conversation is over, make a note on the card about what you know about the person. It'll help you remember them in future and also help you with any follow-up emails. Better yet, after the event, do send an email to let them know that you enjoyed meeting them. It's a thoughtful and classy touch and will help the other person remember you as kind and considerate. Good luck out there.